Hi, everyone. Welcome to your virtual lesson for Wednesday, August 26th. I'm Miss Constant, the social studies teacher for 8th grade. Imagine. But I'm excited to be able to talk to all of you guys today about a fun topic and get us started on a little project that we're going to start today and then continue and wrap up on your next virtual learning day. So either Thursday or Friday, depending on your group, blue group or gold group. So let's get started. Today we're going to talk about political cartoons. I'm going to share my screen with you here. And I'm super new to using this to share screens and to do recordings on. So hopefully we will learn how to do this together. All right. So we're going to talk about political cartoons today. What are political cartoons? Well, we kind of break this down. We know what cartoons are, right? They are something that is animated, illustrated, they're hand drawn, or they're drawn using computer software, graphic design software, something like that. So a cartoon is not like a photograph of real people. A cartoon is something that is created by an artist of some sort, digital artist, freehand artist, what have you. So we're going to talk about political cartoons and what that means. So what are political cartoons? Political cartoons are an expression of an opinion, and that's really important to remember. Political cartoons are opinion. They have text in them, but overall, the artist is trying to express their opinion through illustrations and art rather than through maybe writing what we call an editorial or a big paragraph to publish in the newspaper, or instead of making a YouTube video where they rant and rave and go off about something. This is a different form of expression, a way to express your opinion, and they're doing it through their artistic talents. They use things like humor and other techniques to try to persuade or convince people to accept their opinion. So they're going to try to use make you laugh a little bit or make you think a little bit. They're just trying to share their opinion and maybe get you to agree with their opinion. Not always, but they're definitely sharing their opinion so that it will help to get others to agree. So here are some techniques that political cartoonists use to share their opinion. One is symbolism. They use simple objects to stand for larger concepts or ideas. So symbolism, the idea of using something in place of something else. So maybe I've seen someone use symbolism for Henry VIII, for example, where they drew him as a bowling ball. Well, he wasn't actually a bowling ball, but from the How They Croak story, we know he was a big old round guy. So they were using symbolism to represent Henry VIII as a bowling ball. Exaggeration. This is a really common, probably one of the most common strategies political cartoonists use. That's where they're overdoing it. They're making it overly dramatic or overdoing some piece to try to get you to understand and also to bring in that little bit of humor. And we're talking about like, that's funny kind of humor, not like, it's like a knee slapper. It's not like pee your pants, oh my God, it's hilarious funny. But it's going to make you go, that's funny. I get it. And maybe make you think about the issue they're trying to express their opinion about. Labels. Labels. Labels are very important. You're going to see in our political cartoon examples that labels help express the story, help express the opinion. An illustration can say a lot, but if you throw some labels on, it's going to make it say even more. We're going to talk about things like short captions or thought bubbles, word bubbles, like the speaking bubble thingies, things of that nature. That's how we share the opinion without it being a big old long paragraph. Once upon a time, I was very upset about this, da 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 da. So labels are going to be really important. And then irony. Irony is the difference between the way things are and the way things are supposed to be or you expect them to be. So they use irony to express their views on an issue as well. So, for example, here's one making fun of you guys, which I love. So our artist name down here is down here in the corner, Mike Smith. And we've got two parents sitting on the couch here. And one says, Billy, did you do your homework? That's what the dad says. And seems like Billy isn't responding. So mom says, try texting him. And we've got Billy over here on the other side of the room tap, 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 tap. He's got some sort of device in his hand. He's probably playing video games or texting or on, the Snapchat or Insta or something like that. So he's probably not doing his homework. He's probably on some sort of social media game. Now, if we look at the label or the line of Dad's newspaper here, it says students in Shanghai, China have top test scores. So we take all this in, the image, Billy, his parents, the headline. What is Mike Smith? What's he trying to say here in this political cartoon? Well, I think he's kind of making fun of you guys a little bit. I think he's saying that students in Shanghai, China have top test scores, and maybe it's because American students spend too much time on social media and on video games and other things on their devices rather than their schoolwork. That's what I think Mike is saying. Again, he's just expressing an opinion, totally just an opinion, but he's doing that through an illustration, and these labels are very important to help us understand what's going on. The tap, 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 that he's furiously texting on his device there, or something with video games, I don't know. And then the conversation, these word dialogue boxes are really important as well. It gets the story across without having to write a huge paragraph. Mike Smith feels that students in America spend way too much time on their devices, and they need to put it down because people in China have higher test scores, and it must mean that students in China are more focused on their academics. No, we don't have to read all that or know all that. Mike's doing it, he's expressing it through the illustration and a great use of labels in this example. Our next one, this one's a good one. It's just got very simple text at the top. What really scares kids? Is it ghosts, like this kid's book is about? No, he seems pretty calm. Is it vampires, like this girl's book seems to be at? No, she seems okay. Longer school year. Ah! So this is a great example of exaggeration. Does the idea of a longer school year terrify both students and teachers? You bet. Absolutely. But our hair isn't going to actually stand all the way up straight. Stand all the way up straight like that. Our hair doesn't actually do that. We're not going to jump up and start having sweat beads leap off our faces at the thought of it or the idea of the longer school year. So exaggeration is really, really used here, very simply, but super smart, to get the point across that this kid is terrified about the thought of going more than 180 days that we are to go and adding to a longer school year. This is a great example of exaggeration, and again, using labels and text to help you get your point across. Okay, here's one. The kids are on the couch. They say, I'm going to take, is their mom says, where are we going? March break. March break is probably what we would call spring break. And mom says, on a diet. Look at her face. There's a good use of exaggeration right there. She's holding a newspaper. It says child obesity rates are up. So she's reading an article or just got finished reading an article about how a lot of children in the United States have very poor diets, and it's causing them to have health problems. And then she looks at her own kids, who she's got a whole box of donuts here. He's got a pretty large soda right there, and it looks like he's on some sort of device, so he's not being very active, right? Sitting on the couch, kind of a couch potato or a couch donut person. So she's definitely taking all that in. But then if you look also at the exaggeration that the artist used, look at the couch cushions. They're sagging to emphasize the kids are very heavy, that they're not just kids who like to eat junk food now and then, but that they're very heavy and spend a lot of time on the couch. That donut's pretty large. Look at her cheeks. A lot of exaggeration there. The size of this cup of soda, I guess, pretty large. So great use again of exaggeration and labels. We know these are donuts. There's the labels here and the dialogue bubbles as well. This one we've used actually for a long time as an example in this lesson, but it's super important right now. This could be a few things. Irony, could be symbolism, but we have a great use of text down here. Your mom's really taking this flu outbreak seriously, and she's in a hazmat suit, so we wouldn't expect to see a mom in a hazmat suit, would we? No. Or this probably is a friend of his, honestly, that's in there. So these two are probably friends, and his mom made him wear this hazmat suit to school, take the flu outbreak seriously. So he's like, I would never expect to see my buddy in a hazmat suit. This is another great example of exaggeration, text, maybe irony is thrown in here a little bit as well. Take a look at this one. Let's pause for a second. I want you guys to kind of take in the illustrations and the text on here by yourself. Look at it. What's going on? See any exaggeration? See any labels that are helpful? All right, so a little backstory here. A few years ago, I'm going to guess 6 years, but a handful of years ago, they actually stopped making Twinkies. Hostess stopped making Twinkies. And when it was announced that they were going to stop making Twinkies, people bought all the remaining Twinkies like quick. They lost their minds going to the grocery stores, just piling up on Twinkies. And then when there was no more Twinkies, you had people were crazy. They really like demanded to get their Twinkies back. And they were very upset at the fact that Twinkies were no longer made. And they raised such a stink that they ended up starting to make Twinkies again. It worked. So then, and when they started making Twinkies again, when they would arrive like at the Kroger by my house, I could never get them. And I asked the manager one time, I was like, what's up with the Twinkies? And he said, oh, as soon as we get in a shipment, they're gone within less than an hour. So people were nuts about some Twinkies, is the moral of the story. So we see here, to save the Twinkie, and oh, look at the faces here. Look at the outrage. That guy's demanding it. She's angry. She's angry. These two guys are super angry. They're demanding and protesting very loudly to bring back the Twinkie. All right, so they're expressing their feelings. But now we got these two over here. They're trying to protest save the earth. And this guy right here says we're doomed. So our artist, Nick Anderson, I think he's trying to say that Americans care more about their snack food and their tasty treats than they do about taking care of their environment and like pollution and things like that. And so this guy's saying, oh, we're doomed, or we're never going to get pollution and environmental issues under control if we don't get people to care as much about that as they do about their tasty treats and snack food. So Nick's kind of poking fun at Americans here for sure, saying that we care way more about what goes in our bellies than about our planet. All right. So when you did your Henry VIII reading, how they croaked, you probably at least talked about, but you may have even made kind of a chart about some characteristics or traits about Henry as you're reading through the story. There's some things that describe him, some actions that he does. So you're going to take those and help use that to help you create your political cartoon about Henry VIII. But we're going to do one together, kind of where we're going to make one about me. So we're going to list some traits or characteristics about me. Traits or characteristics, those are things that are like things that describe a person. They could be describe their personality, it could be describe them physically, what they look like, something like that. So if we talk about traits or characteristics of a person, and if we're talking about me, most of the time my hair is kind of curly, frizzy, like kind of scrunched hair. It's a little out of control at times. Big IU fan. You go in my classroom, I have a big IU banner. I have an IU logo on my wall. My MacBook has an IU cover. My lanyard is IU. I went to IU, so I'm a huge IU fan. And I have blue eyes. So those are just some characteristics, some things about, one thing about my personality and a couple things that physically describe me. And then things I do a lot in the classroom. Well, I think I can sing. I know I can sing. I walk around the classroom singing all the time, and it's amazing. But most of my students don't think I'm a very good singer. And my husband tells me I'm not a very good singer either. So I don't know. I think I'm amazing. I drink a lot of coffee. Before you guys get here in the morning, definitely drink a lot of coffee. So, dun, 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 here's my political cartoon about me. If I was going to create one about me, this might look a little something like this. Here's kind of my crazy frizzy hair. I have this huge coffee cup, definitely using exaggeration here, and probably with the hair too, but definitely using exaggeration here. If only there were coffee cups in the world this big, it would be so amazing. But they're not. But this definitely emphasizes the amount of coffee that I drink. It's in large amounts. And maybe it's saying that it makes me really hyper, and that's why I la 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 sing around the classroom a lot. So it's got two actions that I do And it's maybe that's what the artist is talking about. Like, oh, she gets so hyper on caffeine, she just sings all day. And then notice it's got me wearing an IU shirt. So that is another characteristic about me or trait about me. I'm a big IU fan. So this is definitely telling something, expressing an opinion about me, that I drink too much coffee and walk around the room singing. But it also has some factual information in there, like the IU shirt. If you drew this but put me in a Purdue shirt, that wouldn't make any sense. I'm not a Purdue fan. I didn't go to school at Purdue. I don't have any Purdue stuff hanging on my walls in my classroom. I don't even own a Purdue shirt. So that wouldn't make any sense. So this is definitely accurate information about me. This shows that you have some knowledge about me. If you drew me in a shirt, you know something about me. And picking the coffee kind of shows that you know something about me as well. If this was a soda, I don't drink soda at all. So that wouldn't be accurate. It wouldn't make any sense to draw a huge soda because I don't drink it. I do sing and dance around the room, so that definitely does show something about me. So you just took some simple characteristics that you know about me and some actions that you see me do a lot around the classroom and made a really simple political cartoon. We have some use of some text here with la la la. That is just kind of emphasizing, again, that I'm singing. Got my name up here, so you know who it's supposed to be about. So simple text. So why are we going through all of this? Okay, well, your job is you're going to create an exaggerated political cartoon using characteristics you wrote down about Henry VIII. You're going to create one about him. On the back, you're going to write an explanation about your cartoon justifying why you drew what you did. Don't worry about this today. We're just going to focus on the political starting our political cartoon, and then I'll walk you through your justification, your yes ma'am, that'll be on the back of your cartoon. I'll walk you through that in our next virtual lesson, either on Thursday or Friday, whenever you have your virtual day. So when you read the How They Croak story, you probably had a chart similar to this or wrote down some things similar to this. So you made a list of characteristics that describe him and actions that he does a lot. So maybe you said that he's greedy or that he is selfish, or that he's mean or harsh, and things he does a lot. Dude likes to eat, that's for sure. He was big into jousting when he was younger. He really enjoys chopping off people's heads who disagree with him. So he's kind of murderous. So these are some actions and some characteristics of Henry VIII. And you're going to take that information and you're going to create your own political cartoon, just like we did when we created one about me. This is the rubric you're going to be graded on. So it is worth 25 points project. So it's a decent grade, and it's going to probably go in right around midterms. So you definitely want to do a good job on this. You want to take your time, do a nice job, spend some quality time on it. So this is how you're going to be graded. You want to focus on this strong category. You want to get as many of the highest points as you can. So you see we have an action. So the cartoon clearly depicts an action often done by Henry VIII. So again, something he does a lot, chop off people's heads, jousting, something like that. Characteristics, 2 characteristics that are accurately match Henry VIII. So if you drew him super skinny, that wouldn't really match him. If you drew him like hugging and loving people and being super generous, that wouldn't really match him. So they have to be characteristics that do match what you know about Henry VIII. This is how we can tell if you learned something about him. Caption or dialogue. You do have to have some sort of text on there. It can be a thought bubble. It could be dialogue bubbles where you have people talking to each other. It can be a very simple caption. It can be labels, but there has to be text present on your political cartoon. And from the examples we looked at, having text on there just makes the opinion you're trying to express stronger. So if you're trying to express that he's greedy, having text on there is going to help make that opinion come across even stronger in your artwork. 2 more parts. Visual. So you're drawing these to, if you're not a great artist, that's okay. It's not about having a masterpiece if you're not a great artist. But did you try? Is it legible? Did you just scribble down some stuff on your paper and not color it and make it the size of like a nickel? Okay, well then we got an issue. But is your drawing clear and legible? And did you use up all the white space on your drawing paper? That's what we mean by visual design. If you're not an amazing artist, it's okay. But we provided drawing paper in your social studies folder. So where you got your notes and your index card and your maps, there's drawing paper in that folder as well. So, did you use the whole piece? Did you fill in the white area? Did you make it so it's visually pleasing to look at? Fill it in. If you need colored pencils or markers, please ask your teacher. Don't get a bad grade on this because you don't have the supplies you need. That's no big deal. Just ask us. We'll get you the supplies you need. We don't care about sending a box of markers home or a box of colored pencils home. It's totally not a big deal. Please just ask. So make sure that your drawing is legible and that we see it and that you fill up your whole space. And then you will have a short yes ma'am that you will write on the back and you will submit as well along with the image that you create or the cartoon you create. Like I said, we'll go more in depth on the yes ma'am on your Thursday, Friday lesson. But for right now, oops, please ignore my typo. But for right now, just know that that's part of your total grade. So what I want you to do for the rest of your social studies time today is this cartoon does not have to be completed today. After going through this video, I want you to set a timer for at least 25 minutes and begin working. I want you to spend a minimum of 25 minutes on this today, and then we'll have a much shorter lesson for Thursday, Friday for you to go ahead and complete it as well. So you won't have any additional assignments today or any additional assignments on Thursday and Friday except to complete your political cartoon. You do have a political cartoon exit ticket that you complete for today. It's just some multiple choice questions, making sure you understand the purpose of a political cartoon and why they're used. Because we're creating them now, but we're going to see them all throughout our history class. People still create political cartoons today. They are a big source of, a big way for people to be able to express their opinions about politicians or about current events that are going on in our world. So I definitely want you to start to get familiar with them if you haven't seen them before. Have a great time. If you have any questions, please message your teacher. We're happy to help, or join us for office hours, which are Wednesday at 10 o'clock for all of the social studies teachers. But feel free to message us anytime, and we're happy to help. Again, if you need art supplies, let us know, and we will send those home with you as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.